How you doing? I'm CK with Anion Extraction Systems, and today I am excited to be starting up our YouTube channel here. We're going to be covering a lot of the features that our Trifecta system and Minifecta systems both incorporate, kind of give you some insight and show you what makes our system stand out above all the rest. Now this system here is what we call our Trifecta system. This is three separate individual extraction systems all in one. Now the reason that we did that is because this you can run in a round robin format. So you can run one column, start on the next one, start on the next one. By the time that one's ready to recover, this first one's done. What that does is instead of having an extraction process where you start the process and then sit around and simply wait for it to get done, it's continuously moving. So you're constantly getting extractions processes done. Now through the series of these next videos that we're going to be showing you, we're going to actually dive right in and go into each of the individual components and what specifically sets them apart and what we've done. Some of the stuff we'll cover is going to be the multiple sizes of different material columns that we have, sight glasses, de-waxing that comes standard with every system, the versatility of our collection vessels, and of course our 100-pound stainless steel jacketed pressure vessel that comes complete with this system. Now this system is designed, each one of these columns can run up to 15 liters of material at a time with a total capacity of 45 liters. However, since they're run in conjunction with each other, they're not run all at one time, we have actually the capability of processing between 120 to 180 pounds of material in a single day in an 8-hour shift with one person. The reason that is because of, again, our round robin technology that we've done where it's continuously moving. There's not a lot of downtime, there's not a lot of waiting on recovery because you're constantly processing something else. In addition to that, of that material that you can run up to 24 different strains because each of these three columns is completely separate and completely independent from one another. So a lot of our customers here in Colorado that are doing the extractions aren't just processing their materials. There's a lot more growers than there are actual processors, so those growers have to take their trim somewhere. They're processing for other people. This gives you the ability to process some of your stuff while doing some of one customer and some of another customer, keeping everything completely separate from each other. Now you'll notice we have vertically integrated these systems, so the material's up top, the extract comes out the bottom. There's no stainless steel lines that are actually connecting them. All of the stainless lines that are on here are only for running solvent through. This is so that you don't have to clean out any of those lines. A lot of the other systems will have different columns and then they all run through lines into one big collection vessel. The problem with that is cross-contamination. You're never going to be able to actually clean out those lines really thoroughly. Yes, you can dry run the system and you can run it with just the solvent to do a wash on the system, but now you're doing extra steps that you really don't have to do. Every one of these components here comes to where it breaks down into a very small component that's easy to manage, easy to clean. There's nothing that's going to be hard to clean like a stainless steel line, especially if you're doing extractions for someone else. Because if you have one customer and let's say he's got some pesticides in his product or there's left in there and you run and process his stuff, well, the very next customer that comes along, now you're going to be introducing or have the possibility of introducing pesticides or fertilizers or contaminants into your other customers. This keeps everything completely separate and gives you the ability to fully thoroughly clean the machine in between the runs. Another thing that we have is twin Goliath recovery pumps on here. Now there's quite a few things that set those pumps aside, and we'll do a separate video on those here in the future showing exactly what it is. But they have the ability to pull vacuum as one, so you don't need to actually vacuum a separate vacuum pump to vacuum down the system to begin with. In addition to that, there's two recovery pumps, and you'll notice on the back of each of these columns here there's two valves. The reason for that is any one pump can be assigned to any column at any single time. Or if you're only running one column, you can actually put both pumps on that column, making that column recover even faster. You'll notice that they've got the valves back here and they're labeled pump 1 and pump 2. So we can assign pump 1 on this one here and we can assign pump 2 to this column here. Again, that's keeping the processes completely separate and segregated throughout the entire run. That way there's not a chance of cross-contamination. If you're already well into the recovery process on this one, perhaps you're actually pulled into a vacuum during the recovery and you're just starting this one up, you don't want to open in this one and have them actually linked together on the same pump, because the pressure from this one will actually pressurize this column here. That's going to slow this process down. as well as it gives the possibility for cross-contamination. Although by the time it hits the pumps, it's really not likely for cross-contamination. It gives the ability, and we wanted to keep it separate. So you can segregate out and assign any of the pumps to any of the columns at any time. If you're only running one column, you just assign both pumps to that column, and that makes that column recover even faster. Now, dewaxing is another standard feature that we've included with this system, as well as our 100-pound stainless steel jacketed pressure vessel. We've tried to incorporate and encompass all of the different features and all of the different options available and put them all into one unit. During this time, we've taken a lot of feedback from customers like you. What works for you, what doesn't. This system actually spent 2 years in R&D before we brought it to the market, and even since then, we've made upgrades that you'll see here coming up soon, as well as some changes to make things better. We listen to you as the end customer because we want to have the absolute best system out there that fits your needs, whatever they are. Now, this system here is designed to run with propane, butane, or any blend thereof. We are actually at this point looking into processing it with some other solvents as well, so look forward to that coming out here in the future. So that's a basic rundown on this system. Now, we're going to be introducing a lot more videos here in the future, so if you want, subscribe below. That way you can keep updated, and as we go through this system and show you each individual component and what sets Anion apart from the rest of the competition.